welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, our focus is squarely on Dubai. It's a huge magnet for tourists, right?
Absolutely. Millions visit every year.
So we've gathered a whole range of sources: official UAE government info, cybersecurity reports, Reddit discussions, financial intelligence analysis, travel advice, the works.
Yeah, a real mix.
And our mission is basically to understand the safety and security picture for you if you're visiting Dubai.
Yeah.
We want to pull out the key stuff you need to know.
Make sense of it all so you don't get overwhelmed wading through everything yourself. We're aiming for a balanced view, the good, the safe, but also potential risks like scams and just the general rules.
Exactly. Providing that clear picture, highlighting the strong sense of safety that seems to be there, but also pointing out where you need to be a bit more vigilant as a tourist.
Right. So where do we start?
Okay, let's unpack this. First big question, probably the one most visitors have. How safe is Dubai, generally speaking?
The fundamental one.
Well, the official UAE government portal is pretty direct. It states crime rates are low. That's definitely reassuring.
Always good to hear the official line first.
And they give the emergency number, 999, for anywhere in the UAE. But interestingly, they also highlight specific services for non-emergencies, like safety concerns or maybe harassment.
Oh, like what?
In Abu Dhabi, there's the Aman service. You can call 800-2626 or text 800-2828. And in Dubai, it's Al Amin, 800-4888, or there's an international number too.
So dedicated resources beyond just the main emergency line.
Exactly. It feels like there are accessible ways to get help if tourists run into any kind of issue, not just major emergencies.
Yeah.
That proactive stance, it kind of signals they're serious about visitor well-being.
Absolutely. Having services like Aman and Al Amin, it shows they're thinking about a range of concerns. It suggests a system geared towards visitor comfort and safety.
And it's not just the official statements. We looked into a Reddit discussion too.
The voice of the people.
Pretty much. And the overwhelming feeling, especially from people actually living there, was just how safe Dubai feels.
That subjective feeling is important.
Yeah, users talked about feeling incredibly secure. One person who'd moved from the UK even called the UAE the safest country in the world.
Wow. Strong words.
Right.
Yeah.
The consensus was, sure, maybe less desirable areas exist, like anywhere, but they aren't places tourists would likely end up anyway.
Makes sense. Tourist spots are usually well policed and maintained.
And one user brought up an interesting point, the contrast with, say, U.S. travel advisories that might put the UAE on a be careful list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they found it ironic because they felt so much safer in Dubai than in a typical U.S. city. Specifically mentioned, no gun violence.
That's a stark comparison. These firsthand accounts really add color to the official low crime stats. They reinforce that feeling of a generally safe environment.
It is fascinating how the official line and the lived experiences seem to match up so well here.
It is. You've got the infrastructure and the data, and then the personal stories backing it up. That comparison with safety elsewhere gives useful context for anyone deciding where to travel.
But we should be balanced. The picture isn't, perfectly uniform.
Okay.
That same Reddit thread mentioned that the UK government website apparently has some scary stuff about safety, specifically terrorism risks.
Oh, right. That's a different category of risk altogether.
Exactly. And we need to acknowledge that. As one Redditor pointed out, it's distinct from everyday street crime concerns.
Precisely. And that highlights a crucial point for tourists. Safety isn't just one thing, it's layered. Low petty crime is great, but other security aspects are part of the bigger picture. You need awareness of the different types of risks.
Definitely. On a more proactive note, we also saw a report from JD Supra about security initiatives in the UAE.
Okay, what are they doing?
Well, it mentioned efforts by both Abu Dhabi Police, their AM service again, and Dubai Police. Things like advanced surveillance tech, cybercrime prevention.
Cybercrime, that's definitely relevant for connected tourists.
For sure. Also, community engagement, these innovative smart police stations, updated traffic laws, stronger anti-money laundering, and cybercrime laws. It all points to an ongoing effort to boost safety.
That sounds pretty comprehensive. Using tech for cybercrime prevention, that's smart, especially when visitors rely so much on digital stuff these days.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's zoom in a bit now. What about specific considerations for female tourists?
Always an important question.
Traveler Wiz, one of the travel sites we looked at, explicitly says Dubai is widely seen as safe for women. It highlights low rates of violent crime against women.
That's very reassuring to hear up front.
And it notes that public harassment is rare. And if it does happen, the authorities apparently take legal action. Plus, over 16 million international visitors a year.
Including lots of solo female travelers, presumably.
Right. That volume suggests a generally positive experience overall. It should give women considering a trip some confidence.
Definitely encouraging. The low violent crime rate against women and rarity of harassment are key takeaways. But, as they also point out, understanding and respecting local customs is vital for everyone, maybe especially for women, just to ensure a smooth trip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Traveler Wiz lists some specific Dubai rules for female tourists. These are really practical things to know.
Like what?
Dress code is a big one. They advise dressing modestly in public areas, covering shoulders and knees in malls, attractions, markets, places like that.
But beaches and pools are different?
Yeah, more revealing stuff is generally okay there. But visiting religious sites, that requires head-to-toe covering.
Got it. Cultural sensitivity.
Exactly. And public etiquette, too. Avoiding offensive language or gestures, public displays of affection, especially for unmarried couples.
Right. PDAs are often frowned upon in conservative cultures.
And not taking photos of locals without asking first. Just general respect for religious and cultural norms. Knowing these nuances helps avoid awkwardness or, causing unintended offense.
It's really about being a respectful guest. Following these norms helps avoid discomfort or even legal issues. Culture shock is real, and these guidelines help navigate it.
Transportation's another area they mention. Good for female tourists to know the Dubai Metro and tram have separate cabins just for women and children.
That's a thoughtful feature.
Yeah. And ride-sharing like Uber and Careem are common. If you want to rent a car, though, you need an international driving permit.
Standard procedure in many places.
And Traveler Wiz also has tips specifically for solo female travelers. Dress appropriately, use those women-friendly transport options, be cautious with strangers.
Sensible advice anywhere, really.
Avoid walking alone late at night in less crowded areas, and always follow local laws and customs. Practical stuff to enhance that sense of security.
All very prudent, useful recommendations, especially for solo women who might be more conscious of their surroundings. Those women-only cabins can really add to comfort levels.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Financial safety, scams. This seems like a big one.
Unfortunately, yeah. A risk everywhere, but the tactics can vary.
We looked at a UAE Financial Intelligence Unit report. It says fraud is common in the financial sector. But interestingly, they saw a decrease in fraud-related suspicious reports between 2019 and 2021.
Oh, really? Why?
They think maybe increased awareness campaigns and better law enforcement helped. However,
There's always a however.
right, in 2021, scams were the top reason for reporting fraud, like 39% of all reports.
So while overall reports might be down, scams themselves are still a major issue.
Exactly. It means tourists who might not know the local tricks really need to be on guard against scams specifically.
That makes sense. Tourists are often seen as easier targets, less familiar with local procedures. That high percentage for scams is a definite red flag for visitors.
And we found a really concerning report from Red Security about a specific widespread campaign.
What is it?
Cybercriminals impersonating Dubai police.
Oof. That's bold. How?
Phone calls, SMS, iMessage, emails, demanding immediate payment for fake fines.
Yeah.
Traffic tickets, license renewals, stuff like that.
Preying on urgency and authority.
Exactly. And activity apparently spikes around holidays when people might be distracted. Dubai police have warned people repeatedly, never give financial details over the phone.
Good advice anywhere.
These scams use all the tricks. Social engineering, phishing, smishing, that's SMS phishing over the phone.
A whole playbook.
And alarmingly, some fake messages mimic official Dubai police branding really closely. Some calls even come from call centers, reportedly with people having Indian accents. It can look and sound very convincing, especially to a tourist.
That's incredibly concerning. Impersonating police taps into fear and authority. The multi-channel approach makes it hard to avoid. And targeting holidays, that's calculated. Tourists could easily fall for this.
It gets worse. Red Security identified a specific group, they called it the smishing triad, behind a lot of this.
A specific group.
Yeah, using domain names registered in places like Albania and Oman, sending messages via compromised Gmail accounts to cover their tracks.
Sophisticated.
Some scams start small, asking for a minor fine payment just to get your credit card details. Then they hit you for larger amounts. They even use fake online payment forms, sometimes mimicking the official UAE Pass digital ID system.
Wow, mimicking official systems is next-level deception.
This group has apparently impersonated other UAE entities too, and uses hacking tools bought from like a Chinese-speaking actor on Telegram. Get this. Over 730 domain names with Dubai police variations were registered in just a few months in late 2024.
730, that's industrial scale.
It really highlights the persistence. The international aspect makes it tough to shut down. Tourists absolutely need extreme caution with any unsolicited messages.
The organization, the tech sophistication, reusing tactics, buying tools, it shows a serious criminal enterprise actively targeting people, including potentially vulnerable tourists.
And the sheer scale. Another report, this one from BioCatch and Gaza, found over 40,000 UAE residents lost millions to scams just in 2024.
40,000 people, that's huge.
Average loss was over $2,000, and sadly, only 9% got all their money back.
Recovery rates are often depressingly low.
The report noted a difference, too. UAE sees more direct social engineering, fake job offers, dodgy investments, whereas Europe might see more bank impersonation scams.
Interesting regional variation.
WhatsApp is apparently the top platform for delivering scams there. And here's the kicker. Over half the people surveyed encounter scams monthly, and most feel confident they can spot them. Yet they still fall victim.
That's the scary part. Confidence doesn't equal immunity when the scams are good.
And there's growing concern. AI is making scams even more convincing. So these numbers are a stark warning. Even savvy locals get hit, so tourists less familiar with the landscape are potentially at higher risk.
Those figures are alarming. If even confident locals are victims, it shows how sophisticated these scams are. AI making them more personalized. That's a really worrying trend for everyone, especially visitors unfamiliar with local norms.
So, okay, what can you do if you get a suspicious message or call or think you've been targeted?
Is there a way to report it?
Yes, thankfully. There are official channels. In Dubai, Sharjah, and Ajman, you can report scam numbers by calling 901.
Okay, 901.
In Abu Dhabi, it's 800-2626, or SMS to 2828, or email aman@adpolice.gov.ae.
Good to know those specific numbers.
And for general cybercrime incidents, there's an online portal on the official UAE government website. It's crucial for tourists to know these exist and actually use them if something feels off.
Absolutely vital. Reporting helps the authorities track these campaigns, maybe targeting other visitors. It helps protect everyone. It's an important step.
Right. Okay, finally, just briefly, some other, maybe less dramatic, but still important legal points tourists should probably know.
To avoid any unintentional trouble.
Exactly. We saw a note that theft is, taking someone else's stuff without permission. Standard definition. But Traveler Wiz also mentioned cross-dressing can have legal consequences there.
Okay, that's a specific cultural legal point.
And for couples, again, public displays of affection are generally a no-no, except maybe in licensed venues. Same for drinking alcohol only in licensed places, not just out in public.
Important distinctions about public versus private behavior.
They also mentioned the legal marriage age and a potentially complex rule about female tourists possibly needing male guardian consent for marriage, though courts can apparently intervene.
Nuances around family law.
And maybe surprisingly for some, no chewing gum on the Dubai Metro.
Ah, a specific one, but good to know to avoid a fine or telling off.
Exactly. Just being aware of these different legal points helps avoid accidentally breaking a rule.
It really underscores the need for tourists to be informed and respectful of local laws, which can be quite different from back home. Some might seem minor, like the gum rule, but others related to public conduct are crucial to understand.
So let's try and wrap this up for you, our listener wanting the quick takeaways. Dubai, generally very safe, low crime rates. That's the big picture.
Good news for visitors.
But it's really important for everyone, maybe especially female travelers, to be aware of and respect local cultural norms and laws. Dress code, public behavior, be mindful.
Cultural awareness is key.
And financial scams are a serious ongoing risk. Those police impersonations are particularly nasty. So extreme vigilance with online stuff, phone calls, messages is essential.
Don't let your guard down digitally.
Basically, stay informed, take sensible precautions, and you can definitely look forward to a safe and amazing trip.
Precisely. Being informed, being respectful, that's the foundation for safe travel anywhere, Dubai included. Understand the safety landscape, stay alert to risks like scams and cultural differences, and you can navigate your trip much more confidently.
Okay, here's a final thought to leave you with. We know Dubai is digitizing rapidly, attracting people from everywhere. So how might cybercrime tactics evolve to specifically target tourists in new, maybe unexpected ways in the future?
Interesting question. Beyond basic awareness, what else can visitors do proactively to protect themselves in this evolving digital travel world?
Definitely something to mull over as you plan your next adventure.